Anger is like a spark. It can power change, but if it's too much, it can burn everything down. Do you have the right levels? I want to share 4 ideas to help you frame anger, and then 4 things you can do to help if you start feeling like things are getting out of control. The first thing I want to talk about is anger as the actual feeling itself. And I use the word feeling in particular because anger is one of those emotions, one of those feelings that are felt in the body so strongly. So if I was to ask you, how do you know that you're angry? You might say, well, I feel hot. I feel it in my head. I feel tightness in my chest or my muscles. You may even have clenched fists. So part of the way anger is experienced is a felt experience in the body. Anger is a signal that our boundaries are being pressed or crossed. It's what comes up when we feel pressed in, contained, or powerless. It can come up when we have a particular goal in mind. There's somewhere we want to get to, somewhere we want to be, and then there's an obstacle to that goal. Imagine you're driving and someone cuts you off. It's an obstacle to you getting where you want to get to. You're now one more car away from your destination. Also, God forbid the person cutting you off makes it through the red light and you get stuck. I feel some anger in me right now. Same in a supermarket queue. Someone cuts in, leaves you irritated enough to even say something to them. Excuse me, champ, the line starts back there. Or when you're misunderstood, there's an obstacle to being heard. Or you're a parent and your kid can't find their left sock and you're late. The kid becomes an obstacle to you getting where you need to be on time, and probably them too. So when we start to talk about anger like that and see the mechanics of it working, it can actually help, especially when we start to break down the idea that a small child, another driver on the road, another person at the grocery store could really get in the way of a meaningful goal in the grand scheme of things. Another thing I'd like to point out is the idea of powerlessness. There seems to be a relationship here. The more powerless we feel, the more anger we feel. When your boundaries are pressed, when you're feeling powerless, when you do have an obstacle, the energy you need to overcome these things comes from anger. Remember that the gift of anger is strength. While the gift of anger is strength, toxic anger is rage. If anger is like a spark, rage is like a wildfire. You can burn down what you need to, but you might burn everything else down too. Anger, on the other hand, when targeted, can be very useful. It gives us strength and we can take action. Here are 4 things to do when anger starts to feel out of control. If you find yourself floating towards rage territory, try these. First, breathe. Regulate your breath and slow it down. That tells your body and your mind that you're safe. Then you might ask yourself, am I seeing the situation accurately? Is my mind telling me stories that aren't true? Am I catastrophizing? Am I making myself a victim? Then engage with what you're doing mindfully. Mindfulness is helpful because it gives us an opportunity to take a breath, notice things, notice ourselves. It gives us some space between our experience and our responses, which include our behaviors. You then have a moment to connect with your values. Ask yourself, even though I'm so angry, what kind of person do I want to be in this moment? I hope you enjoyed that exploration of anger, what it looks like, what it is, some of its gifts, some of the pitfalls, and strategies to help you find your way through. Let me know in the comments below what journey your anger or rage has taken you on. What do you know? Time's up.